Hi everyone! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And if you're interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link in the description below. In this one, I wanted to speak to you guys about a question that a viewer asked me about parents and empathy and when they fight a lot. So basically she was saying something like, I have parents who fight a lot. And because I'm an empath, it's a little bit difficult for me because they fight and then I pick up on that negative energy and then I'm not able to sleep, I'm not able to have a proper level of sanity, she always gets all perturbed by it. And she was asking me what's the best way to deal with it, especially being an empath as she is. Now, if you're an INFJ, obviously you are an empath in general, anyways. And one of the reasons why I absolutely hated being an empath when I was younger was because of this exact same reason. Because my parents used to fight a lot. They still do, but now it doesn't bother me anymore. But when I was a child, of course, as a child, it's like a big deal because you wonder if it's your fault. You wonder if it's something that you did. You wonder if they're going to break apart or divorce each other, and if they're going to leave each other. What are you going to do then? I always worried about my brother and sister, my siblings, and I worried what would happen to them if my parents got a divorce or they separated. How would I take care of them? Because I was not sure if I could rely on any other relative or family member to take care of us. And so already at like the age of 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, I was already thinking about all these things. And of course I hated it because I didn't want to think about these things and I didn't want to worry about it. I didn't want to stay up all night thinking about it or worrying about it. And I didn't want to feel all of that, the strangeness in my heart and the tightness in my chest and the tightness in my shoulders and all of that tension that would permeate my body and my soul and spirit because of all the fighting that happened in the house. Now, as I've said this before many times, we are not the saviors of the people around us. Unfortunately, as a child, especially as an INFJ child, we have this idea that we are the saviors of our parents, that we're supposed to protect them, save them from themselves, mediate between them, and all of that stuff, right? And we end up behaving like adults in a family where the parents sometimes are not behaving like adults, right? Now I realize obviously that it's normal to fight and it's necessary sometimes to fight in a relationship because you need to iron some details out or figure out where your relationship is at. And also as a parent or as an adult in general, when you're in a relationship for so long, things will come up over and over again, and so people fight. That's fine. It's normal. It's okay. It's not my fault. It not has nothing to do with me. Actually, it's their thing, and they can do it, and I can protect myself in that manner right now. I know that now, but I did not know that back then. I actually really do feel a lot of empathy for a lot of the INFJs who are younger right now, who are children or in their teens or even in their 20s and who have to deal with their parents being like this, because I know how difficult it can be and how tumultuous it can be, chaotic it can be in your household, and how difficult it can be to deal with it. You're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to do here. And it makes you feel terrible because you feel as an INFJ that you should be able to control your circumstance, that should be able to take care of your family and make sure that there's harmony within them, but you're not able to do that because your parents keep on fighting, and you're like, well, obviously I'm not doing a good job of this, and you start blaming yourself, and it's a really horrible cycle to be in. In general, I have to say that it does get better, and so I know you're probably thinking right now that doesn't help, but I must say that I did not think that it would get better. When I was a child, I was like, oh, this is never, I'm always going to be in this situation, it's always going to be like this. It's not always going to be like that, and actually it's going to get much better, and eventually you're not going to be bothered by it at all. A lot of times my parents are fighting downstairs and I'm like, yeah, cool, I'm doing my thing, it doesn't even bother me, because again, it has nothing to do with me. They're figuring out their issues, and it's not my responsibility to take care of them. Not my responsibility to go down and mediate, because a relationship needs these kinds of arguments, discussions, and fights in order to grow as a relationship, right? So it's not our responsibility to fix everything. Harmony doesn't necessarily mean that you never fight. Harmony means that you fight and then get back together, or you fight and you're able to fix or resolve your issues, or you fight and you're able to become a strong couple because of it. And so harmony does not mean that you never fight. And that's something that I used to think as a child. I was like, oh my God, if they fight, it means they don't love each other and they're going to leave each other. No, it means that they still care about each other and they're trying to fix their issues rather than just ignoring each other or being indifferent, which is, of course, a billion times worse, right? And so, as I said, it will get better as you get older because what's going to happen is that you're going to learn how to protect your heart better and better as time goes on. As you get older, things that used to bother you a lot when you were younger are not going to bother you at all, or they're going to bother you less and less, and eventually not at all. And so I've done videos in the past where I've told you, how to protect yourself physically protect your heart physically from things happening around you. And so there's many things you can do for that. Go check out that video because I'm not going to repeat it. Basically, the idea is to physically protect it. Either put your hands on your heart or, kind of hunch over it. Or that's why a lot of people who have a lot of heart stuff, they always hunch over. I'm always trying to make sure that my shoulders are back because it's very difficult for me. Otherwise, I'm like always hunching over my heart trying to protect it. And so physically, you can protect yourself with it. Also, put on headphones. Like whenever my parents are fighting downstairs, I'm like, I'll put on headphones and I'll put on a piece of music I love or put on something comedic, something that's really funny, and I'll ignore it. Because literally, as I said, it is not your issue. It is not your responsibility. You're not their savior. So you don't have to save or protect them. So chill out, take care of yourself, do self-care, and put on some music and get over it. Just ignore it because, again, it's not your responsibility. You're not the caretaker of your parents, not in that way at least, and let them fight and do their thing. They're trying to figure stuff out there. Don't interrupt, let them do it. And so again, that's important as well, to take care of yourself during the process. Don't think that you need to punish yourself because your family is going through something like this. I used to do that a lot. I'd skip meals or skip drinking water, all that, because I was like, well, of course, if my family's not doing well, then how can I take care of myself? Don't do that to yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're sleeping well. Make sure you're eating well. Make sure you do all the basics. Like, take care of your foundations. If you are a kind of person who loves to dance, go do a dance routine. Or if you are the kind of person who loves to cook, then go cook. Do something for yourself. Like, don't worry about them. They're dealing with their things. Let them deal with it, but take care of yourself. Again, as I said, protect your heart, protect your body, protect your physical shell, and protect your mind-body connection. Do yoga or dance or paint or walk in nature, whatever it is that you do in order to get back to your center, in order to ground yourself. It's very important that you take care of yourself. As an empath, what you're doing here, no matter what's going on around you, is to come back into your body. What happens as an empath is that we get into our minds and we forget that we have a body, right? We forget that we have this physical body that we need to take care of. And it needs to be taken care of, otherwise you're going to make yourself sick. And if you get yourself sick, then it's going to take a long time for you to recover, and it's not a good cycle to get into. I know because I've been there. I used to get sick a lot, so much so that I would need so many antibiotics. It was terrible things I did to my body. And so I don't want you guys doing that to yourself. So again, it's very important. The main thing I want to emphasize is that it's not your responsibility to take care of them. It's not your responsibility to mediate. It's not your responsibility, or it's not your fault. It's not anything to do with you. They're doing their thing. Let them, but take care of yourself. Protect yourself, take care of yourself, and really, really focus on your own mind-body connection rather than what's going on out there, downstairs, wherever they're fighting. It's, again, not your thing. Especially for a child, really be careful if you're younger, because I wish I had known this stuff when I was younger, obviously. That's the reason I really want to do these videos for you guys. But really, as a child, you have to remember that it's not your responsibility to take care of your parents, and it's not your fault that they're fighting. And this is something you might have to repeat to yourself over and over and over again. It's not your fault, and it's not your responsibility, because it's so important for us to realize that. I wish I had known that when I was younger, so I could have focused on my own things instead of worrying about them and thinking about them and contemplating them and just literally kind of mediating all the time. That was not useful for me to do that. They need to take care of themselves, otherwise their relationship is not going to go stronger. They need to do it themselves. A child coming in the middle of it is not useful. It's absolutely useless, actually. And so I hope that this helps. I know that you're probably thinking that I would have given you some other tips, go in and mediate and talk to them about the best way to communicate or use nonviolent communicate. All of that stuff is not your responsibility. They have to learn that on their own. If they want to improve their communication, they need to go read a book and they need to figure that out on their own. You telling them what to do is not going to change anything. And I know that because I've tried that for years. I tried that for decades. Maybe you guys should go to therapy. Maybe you should go read that book about communication. Maybe you should go do this or that. And I recommended 1,000 things because I'd read up on it and I recommended it to them. They never tried anything. They never did any of that stuff. And so it was just a waste of my breath. And so I don't do that anymore. If they want to, they can read it on their own. They can figure it out on their own. But they don't want to change. They just want to keep on doing the same thing. And so let them, it's okay. And be amused by it because it is funny. Kind of funny, right? So I hope this helps. I hope that you're able to get over it. I hope you're able to protect yourself. It's extremely important that you don't get sick trying to take care of something that doesn't need to be taken care of. If you have any questions, please comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. Maybe it's a little bit harsh what I've said in this video, but it's really important that you guys get it. It's not your responsibility and you're not at fault. Okay, I think I've said that enough. Again, thank you so much for listening and I shall see you guys next time around. Bye for now.